G'day everybody. Look, this morning I went out to let out the chickens and feed the animals and do that sort of stuff, and I had the most horrific sight of our pet Budgerigar that had been attacked and killed by a rat or rats. I know it was a rat. I'm pretty sure it was because, unfortunately, stop watching now if you don't want to hear this graphic section. It'll go for about 30 seconds. Her beak was covered in blood, and she actually had a look like rat hairs arched coming out from under her beak. So yeah, unfortunately she's put up a struggle, and yeah, look. Oh man. She normally comes inside at night, and I fell asleep last night and didn't bring her in. But anyway, look, no matter what happened, what I'm trying to get at is all the people out there that watch this, do you have an idea, a better idea for me where I can try and solve this problem with mice and rats and at least slow it down? For those of you who don't know, the Australian bush is right on my back fence. I can't stop what comes in and out of my yard. I can't, and I accept that. But what I can do is keep the yard clean, and chicken feed and things like that I keep in sealed containers, and I feed the chickens during the day by taking feed out of the container, giving it to them in an ice cream bowl, letting them have a good feed. I bring it in, and then usually before I put them away and lock them up at night, I'll do that routine again, and then bring that feed in and lock it away. So I've minimised things like chicken feed and animal feed being laying around in pens and stuff like that. It doesn't happen. But as you can see, I'm here in my orchard, and unfortunately my orchard is getting decimated this season. Summer here in Australia right now, and I've just got, in fact, I'll show you just some of these. For instance, my peaches. My peaches, as well as my plums, I'm losing them to rats and mice, and I just can't keep up with it. My cherries, I lost every single cherry. Now I do take some action, like picking fruit early and ripening it inside, and that's what I'll do with my tomatoes, strawberries and blueberries, for instance. They all get picked early and brought inside, so I can win that battle. I'm still losing quite a few though. It's annoying because they will eat them, as you can see, when they're not even close to being ripe. My Santa Rosa plums in a tree just over here are decimated. They look like this hanging off the tree. It's just terrible. I'm constantly trying to do things here to eradicate them. I've got mouse traps and rat traps baited and ready to go with, well, I say baited, but they've got peanut butter to attract them. I've got buckets, 5-gallon buckets with water in them, and they've got a mechanism that sits on top, and it's just basically like a seesaw. And I don't know what you call them overseas, but anyway, a seesaw I mean. But essentially you just put something on the end like peanut butter, and as they climb along and walk along, it loses balance and they fall into the water, and you know what happens then. I've got pellets, commercial pellets that are quite expensive, unfortunately, that are non-secondary poisoning. And what will happen is the mice and rats will eat them, and that will take care of them. And then should the dog or the chickens or the native birds, which I get plenty of here, if they were to eat those mice or rats that have passed away, they're not going to get secondary poisoning from the bait that's inside them. But that's a very expensive option here, unfortunately. I've tried other methods, such as the baking soda method, which was suggested to me recently, and I've mixed that with peanut butter in a bowl, and I've mixed it with powders that are aromatic and sweet, like a custard powder and a chocolate powder and things like that, to try to attract them to eat that mix. And I'm just getting this constantly. And yeah, last night with our pet Budgerigar, that was crazy. I didn't expect them to be able to squeeze through the small bars like that. And yeah, so anyway, is there something that I'm not aware of that you do. I'm hoping that people who watch this from the homesteading and the farming community, or just someone in general that might have a really effective way of stopping this sort of thing, is there something else I can try? And because we're such an international community, I'm hoping to get ideas from people around the world. And also these days it's quite easy to access things internationally with postage, say Amazon for instance. I can get things shipped from the UK store and the USA store, the Canadian store, the German store, you name it. So yeah, I would love for anyone to be able to give me some feedback, if possible, on something else that I could maybe try or vary what I'm doing here. But yeah, unfortunately, it was not the thing I wanted to wake up to today, or I wasn't expecting it. And I don't want to dwell on that. It's all about trying to eradicate this sort of situation here. So yeah, if you don't mind, if you could leave comments down below, I'd appreciate it. And yeah, hopefully I'll find a solution, because it's just getting out of hand. I've not had this issue before. So again, if anyone has any ideas, I would love to know. And yeah, thanks very much for your time. If you have stuck around, I do appreciate it. And yeah, that's about it. That's just thanks for your time, and have a great day. Bye.